everybody, Gerone Wright here, and once again you're joining me on my Gerone Wright YouTube channel here on YouTube. I've had some time off here and I just said figure I'll come back with a bang to go ahead and get everybody all riled up with me and rallying back on again. Here we in this video, we're back in we're going to Peru. Okay, I have a few discoveries that I've done with regarding ancient Peruvian artifacts and the Nazca lines and the Peruvian burial stones. A couple different things that I have out there. If you haven't seen my videos, you should actually go ahead and get on them and check them out. Okay, here. These are those mysterious holes in the they're miles. It's supposed to be something like miles long. Okay, and they're a mystery because there's no artifacts found. And these are the mysterious holes of Pisco Valley, Peru. Okay, and it's in some type of range where these holes was carved into the top of the mountain, and it's such a mystery because no artifacts were found, no fossils were found, no bones, no nothing of that nature was found, and it seems to be a mystery. Now, if everyone were to just leave science out of this for a minute and just apply common sense analogy to why these holes are here, you could come up with the best possible logical explanation in your own imagination without going to no third party to try to find out an explanation for why these holes are here. Now, I'm going to show you, you've seen these holes before, just as I have seen these holes before. You see these holes every day when you open up your refrigerator, okay? Let me show you where you first see these holes before you saw them there in that mountain. Because those holes in the top of that mountainside there in Pisco Valley are identical to these holes here. This is a carton of eggs. A dozen of eggs. Those holes in Pisco Valley are identical to this. You've seen these holes before. Oh, let me show you the front of the. Hold on, because the front. Let me show you the front of the carton of the eggs. Right? It's Sunny Valley egg carton. There you go. Okay, Sunny Valley. You see that? It's amazing because these are, oh no, Sunny Meadow. I'm sorry, I could say Sunny Valley. But look, check this out. There are your Pisco holes, the Pisco Valley holes in Peru. You see, we fail to realize that these ancient carvings and things that are going on, these ancient finds such as this here, we fail to give our dinosaur ancestors credit, or creatures of our world that were there before us, or in some cases may have existed alongside of us, even though there's no evidence of digging these holes. We listen to, I almost want to call them assholes, like ancient alien theorists, because I'm noticing now that a lot of the ancient alien theories that come on in their episodes are seeming to be circled around my discoveries now. They're actually where when they first started out, they were just focusing on space and aliens coming in. Now it seems like a lot of my discoveries that I'm detailing in my videos, ancient alien theorists are tapping base on. So I'm not gonna call them assholes because I'm a better guy than that. So I'm gonna. This is just a thought that I had. I just want to put that out there. But ancient alien theorists want you to believe that ancient aliens flew in from another place and they used their laser weapons and their laser technology to intervene with mankind and carve these holes. No. Let's give credit to where credit is due. We evolved through creatures of our world, and so have the creatures that were here as well. So basically, we have to look at this for what it is. So there's another, I'm going to flip on to another picture here. Here's another area, another shot of that what actually been shown that I just shown you. And again, each one of these potholes are very much similar to this box of eggs and the way that they are. Basically, the only thing that these holes are missing there are the eggs. Again, dinosaurs has been out of extinction for millions and millions of years. So therefore, the shells from these eggs could have had just disintegrated. And this is the reason why you don't have the artifacts, or you don't have the fossils. I mean, not the artifacts, I'm sorry, forgive me. You don't have the fossilized remains of these creatures or the shells. This stuff could have just vanished. But there is evidence of it all taking place. Now, I'm gonna explain it to you from our dinosaur ancestral point of view. This creature, this dinosaur, is responsible for being here first in our world and the first of the creatures to enjoy on our lands. So therefore, what I have discovered here and what I'm proposing is right on point. Here's fossilized, I don't know where my mind is going. Here's dinosaur eggs. Here's from the concept and idea of somebody. You see the little guys there. This is what this Pisco Valley here is all about in these holes. This is all about eggs that was carefully placed in the ground, waiting for the hatchlings to hatch. And this is the reason why I can take this image here of these box of eggs, and just like you can go on your refrigerator and equate them with this Pisco Valley scenario with these mile-long lines of potholes that looks like an egg farm. Without the eggs, though. Now, here's a row of eggs here, and these are turtle eggs in the sand. Now, this is where I like to just take nature and show you and create a scenario. Let's go to the top of that Pisco Valley mountain in Peru, where millions of years earlier on, or thousands and thousands of years earlier on, where the ground, this creature could actually manipulate the soil atop of that mountain, that location, and places eggs, places eggs in there to be hatched, just like this turtle has done, and with the sand in the on the beachfront here. You see what I'm saying, people? This is a scenario, but on a much larger scale. We just can't envision it because it is larger than life and larger than our time and larger than our imaginations. And we just could not put the two and two together to actually say, hey, listen, I know what those holes are. Those holes are the way eggs are hatched, but on a smaller scale by alligators, by our reptilian species, by snakes, by turtles. And this is what the scenario is of that Pisco Valley. There's another carton of eggs. Those mile-long potholes in that Pisco Valley scenario are set up just like this. An idea that has evolved to our kitchen. And you know why that evolved into your kitchen like this? Do you want to know why this idea is here? And let me bring up the actual other box. You know why? Excuse me. Because the informations, excuse me, the informations that are kept in our DNA that calls for that person that create this egg carton, this box, excuse me again, evolved along with us. We evolved from the dinosaur creature. And I'm going to go on and tell you some more. But the person that created this idea to put these eggs in this box and bring them onto your home, into the environment of your home, is the same creatures that developed this idea to make that carton in the ground. And this is why here's our first egg carton, which was created by our dinosaur ancestor. It just evolved into another form through the imagination of a person that made the invention of the egg carton box. And this is why those two scenarios are very similar to each other. There's our first egg carton box on the ground. Each egg is in its little dugout or little pothole. And that's the reason why you have the Pisco Valley scenario. And that's why we have our egg carton box. And I'm going to go on because Peru is a very special area. There's another egg carton box. Peru is a very special area. These are the Peruvian burial stones. I have a video here on the Peruvian burial stones. Now, besides the Nazca lines, you have these Peruvian burial stones. You can Google them, people. Okay? And with these Peruvian burial stones, what's unique about this is because man is not supposed to have been evolved alongside of the dinosaur. But here you have the Peruvian people that actually took and made these burial stones, what they called burial stones, with these dinosaurs on them. And in some cases, these Peruvians, these ancient Peruvians, are interacting with these dinosaurs on the stone. So I'm going to translate them for you, these stones, okay? Because I am the first person to ever make this proposal or an analogy about these stones. The Peruvian people fashioned these stones in the shape of eggs. Who eggs are they? They are dinosaur eggs. They are acknowledging that through the dinosaur egg came mankind. Different forms of mankind's existence. It's showing you different shapes and forms of dinosaurs. It's showing you from each existence stage that mankind actually came. And this is the reason why you see the two different creatures there. But hold on. Let's keep going. Here is another stone in the shape of a dinosaur egg, and this dinosaur is holding a creature which is in the form of a mutation of a man. Can you see that, people? Yeah, you can see that. Holding the man by what? Its neck. The only creatures that we know today that have evolved into doing this, we have kittens, we have dogs, and other forms of animals that pick up their young from the back of the neck. It is showing you this whole thing, this scenario, you take it in totality. It is showing us that through the dinosaur egg hatched mankind. And it's showing you that this dinosaur is responsible for the likeness of this man. And if you look and Google the Peruvian burial stones, you will see that the matching face of the dinosaur is the matching face of the man that the dinosaur is holding. Symbolizing that mankind evolved from this creature. There's no two ways about it. Here's the other Peruvian burial stones here, and they all are symbolizing the same exact thing. You have some of these Peruvians with their knives at the dinosaur's head as if he's killing a dinosaur. What they are talking about is gene splicing. These people are talking about, these Peruvians are talking about that they came from this creature, the dinosaur, and they spliced again back into the ancient roots of the dinosaurs to genetically alter themselves. These people understood that they came from the existence of the dinosaur and that they could splice back into these genes and genetically alter themselves. And this is how this genetic change, and this is how these various forms of mankind existences came. And it's the same thing to each continent. These same stories about these dinosaurs and how man evolved from dinosaur, and how each civilization of people genetically altered themselves further. And this is what is going on today through the guises of religion and royalty, which have you worshiping their asses, and you are doing so blindly and not realizing that the information of who you truly are is right here before you. And they are using you to further this process, which can periodically be tapped back into or intervened back into. Again, you have the dinosaur holding this man by the back of the neck. In each case, that's what it is. The only creatures that hold their young by the back of the neck are animals, dogs, lions, cats. These creatures pick their young up from the back of the neck after birth to let you know that they are the arm of that creature. This man shaped here, Peruvian man, which looks like this dinosaur, showing you that it is an extended arm. An extended arm. You see the dinosaur's arm extended out, holding this man by the back of the neck. This man is an extended arm of this creature, the dinosaur. They both evolved from the egg of the dinosaur, and that this is what this is telling us. Now, let's go back to these holes. These holes represent a place, a birthing place, where eggs were seeded into these holes. And that's why I can so easily take that scenario, which is unexplained. No one has explained this or what it is for. No one, ever. Google it. No one has ever explained how those holes got there, and yet I'm taking a box of eggs out of my refrigerator that costs under $3 and taking you and giving you the identical scenario. Here, let me hold it like this here. Hold the eggs across. There's the box. Identical to the scenario that is there in Peruvian, ancient Peruvian, those holes, those potholes. Now, if you don't want to believe that the dinosaurs made those holes, they say that the holes are man-made because they are the size of a man. Well, if you have a dinosaur larger than life and it's laying eggs, the eggs will be the size of a man, right? So what the holes will be. These eggs, imagine them, imagine the man size. Well, we're talking about dinosaur holes though, too, people. I'm not saying that dinosaurs physically hatched out mankind. I'm saying that there was an evolutionary process that calls for it. However, I'm saying that just the existence of the creature, I'm not saying that these dinosaurs hatched out man, so don't get my tongue twisted, people. I'm stating that through a process of evolution, which I'm pretty much has down to a science now, that mankind came from dinosaur. I'm stating that I'm just mixing two stories here about the Peruvian burial stones and these holes. What I'm stating is that a prehistoric creature similar to that of the dinosaur hatched eggs out of these holes. These mile-long holes, and there was eggs buried here. That's what I'm stating. I just mixed two stories together. Okay, I'm not stating that mankind was hatched from eggs out of these holes. So please, my sarcastic followers, please don't twist that up. All right, what I'm stating is that creatures were hatched from out of these holes, and that's the best scenario that you can possibly get from this. But however, for those of you that don't want to buy into the dinosaur theory and say, well, no, the science want to say, oh, no, these holes was carved by man's hands, this, that, the third. Well, okay, I'll give you another theory that actually supports man would have done these holes then. How about that? Better than any theory that anyone had ever possibly gave before. How about that? I'm going to give you two theories on how these holes were given, and just when you thought that the first one was the best one, I'm going to give you one that is equal to the first one that I gave you with dealing with my egg theory with the dinosaurs. Okay? Okay. I'm a Peruvian, ancient Peruvian, and in my time, droughts and a water deprivation that I cannot get no more water. I'm being deprived of water. Every time it rains, I want to capitalize off of keeping that rain around for as long as I possibly can. So basically, in this area, basically what I would do is I would make these water capturing basins that so when it rained, the water would lay up in these high areas. Now the water up here would be fresher, higher towards the clouds. It would stay fresher longer because down to the ground in these little puddles and things, the water would become stale. So up here, I would obtain a more pure or purified drinking water higher up in this area where low-lying in the area where animals and everything else was down on ground level could not get to and cause my water to become stagnant or contaminated through them drinking. Okay, now or the low-lying areas of the water, rising tides or whatever, flooding, salt water contaminated the drinking water down below, which calls for a contamination of the water. However, I created this this irrigation system up above, higher up. I'm forced to make this irrigation system miles long to save my people. So every time it would rain, these basins would capture a certain quantity of rainwater, and we could go up there and bucket this water out to have fresh water to drink for months until it rained again. Boil it up and drink it again. You see where I'm at with this, people? There are no artifacts here. None. There are no bones there. There's nothing there. So if I was coming in hand with a clay bucket or some type of wooden bucket or whatever, let's say it was a wooden bucket, a wooden pail. Not even clay, because clay would have been left behind if one would have broke. Let's say wooden. You know why? Because I'm saying wooden. A wooden pail or wooden bucket, because wood, if left behind, would actually disappear. It would disintegrate over through time. So that's why I would explain no artifacts there. So I would come up here with my wooden pail religiously every morning, every day, or maybe sometimes several times a day, and I would dip my pail into this hole and get my water, my safe drinking water or my safe bathing water that I could take back down to purify or give to my children that we captured from the rain here through each one of these holes. Now, why would we have so many holes? It's because it would have been required that each family in my civilization would have been responsible for creating their own pit, their irrigation pit, or their their rain capturing pit to support each and every one of their families. So for them to be a mile long, each one of these would either have been supporting of one family, two family, or whatever families that it would actually be in support of. Do you see what I'm saying, people? So I've given you not one, but two plausible and feasible ideas as to why these holes are on this mountaintop and why they were dug and for what reason they were dug, as opposed to the best minds in our world. You have the best minds in our world, scientists that have not even scratched the surface of either one of the ideas that I've just given to you. And then those ancient alien theorists, those good old ancient alien theorists that continuously take and put an alien spin on everything. Them and other people that associated with archaeological finds, American Unearthed and these shows. I mean, people. I'm talking about people that have went to college and got degrees and scholarships. I'm talking about some of the people that have the best mathematical minds in the world, some of the people that has the most hours and so many umpteen hours in science study and archaeological study, and oh my gosh, the list goes on and on and on. People, they don't think outside the box. They don't think to explain to you that, listen, those holes are on a much larger scale than what appears in your refrigerator, this box of eggs. So all we have to do is just take each one of these eggs, make them larger, and place them in each one of these holes. And we have the exact scenario as this. Or we can go on another scale and equate these holes with being that of reptiles. A reptilian creature used this location as its nesting spot to place his eggs in each one of these holes, which hatched out, and all of the materials that from the hatchings, the shells and all that, they're gone. They disintegrated throughout time. In fact, the shells could have easily, at some point, through windstorms and all of that, just blown away. Shells are not heavy. You see what I'm saying, people? The remains of the shells could have just blown off into this into oblivion. My name is Gerone Wright. I'm going to leave you there. I gave you two wonderful ideas about the Peruvian location here. Okay, dealing with Pisco Valley, Peru. These mysterious holes that no one seemed to know. I've given you two plausible ideas of how this could actually have occurred. The first one was a good one because the Peruvian burial stones, where it shows mankind alongside of dinosaur and explaining the story of how man evolved from dinosaur through the egg of the dinosaur. And here I am talking to you about eggs being in these holes. All of that coincides with each other. And then the wonderful story about, okay, well, for those of us that don't want to accept the fact of man coming from dinosaur and evolving from dinosaur and mankind having that knowledge of that dinosaur there in the Peruvian, with the Peruvian people, then okay, fine. Then I give you a water irrigation system where there was a capturing system for water, for rain, which is a natural resource and a natural way of collecting water. Period. Period. For all we know, there could have been an underground system through here, a piping system at one point to come from point A to point B, and through each one of these holes, the water drains down into that piping system. And basically, what happens, instead of it running off the side, it would be trapped. The water be trapped, and it creates an even flow of the water through a piping system underneath the ground, through an aqueduct system. And at the other end that was facing towards that ancient village that no one seems to acknowledge or seems to understand, there could have been it could be an aqueduct system that actually goes into that ancient village that they said looked like Mystery-Picchu or something. So there could be an aqueduct system that was built in underneath this that we have not explored, that could actually go right into that. Or this could have been the aqueduct system itself on top. You see, people? But the idea behind all of this is that I've got you two ideas. I'm going to end my video here, and I hope you appreciate this video. I took some time off. I'm going to do another video after this. I would believe I'm going back and forth with it because I've experienced that I can put gravity in spaceships. And I can change the whole course of NASA space programs or any other space exploration program. And I can bring gravity to space in a spaceship. So I'm going to probably be thinking about doing a video on that. Thank you.